Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. XRP may overtake Bitcoin in price over the next 3 days, according to a report by the crypto fundamental expert analysts. Let me be clear that I do not agree with all this analyst has to say here. What he is proposing here, however, is not the wildest idea. Here's my rationale. Although XRP has generally lagged behind Bitcoin, especially for the largest price changes, there is an intriguing correlation between the two if you look at their respective price movements. More goodies are on the way to you as well. Oh, and before I go any further, I should also point out that this is completely ridiculous. This is something I feel strongly about covering in this video. The FTX token, often known as FTT, has been going absolutely crazy, as you may have seen. I looked into it earlier today, and within the previous 30 days, it has increased by almost 250%. It looks like I should have dumped the remainder of my cryptocurrency holdings into this shady Ponzi scam coin back in January. It's skyrocketed now. Here's my rationale. But before we go any further, let me state unequivocally that I have zero experience in the financial sector. I am not giving any kind of financial guidance. Also, you know that you shouldn't act on any of my recommendations to buy or sell. Just a hobbyist here that occasionally posts films to YouTube on various crypto-related topics. At the time of writing, the price of XRP is 66 cents, and the price of one Bitcoin is within a few $100s of $37,000. At the moment, all we can do is wait. This has been happening for a few days now. However, current pricing won't last forever. A reliable crypto chart analyst has just made the following post. The quiet before the bull fury, he said yesterday night on the social media site X. So, I'm simply saying that there isn't much to talk about in terms of price fluctuation, at least for Bitcoin and other coins like the FTX coin. The answer is yes, and it's newsworthy. However, the most important information for you concerns the trustworthy huge cap currencies. Actually, I haven't gotten it yet. However, he also brought up this angle in the morning. This is merely a Bitcoin USD chart, but Bitcoin is a verifiable cryptocurrency. I believe we have put in the first low timeframe impulse of our next move to $40,000, he added in his note. Additionally, we do need to see a little bit more another impulse up at a lower timeframe to corroborate this. The possibility of local invalidation is plotted. But ideally, we hold the lower channel mountains. That's why he's not budging from his original stance. He is confident that this year will bring Bitcoin to a new all-time high, and he has been very forthright and clear in expressing this view. He is firm in his conviction. So, time will tell if it actually occurs. That's a fantastic forecast, because it provides a timescale. So even if he's spot on with the structure of the chart, I still worry about him. Perhaps I should, perhaps I shouldn't, perhaps neither. But because when you put a timestamp on it, that stuff, because he could be right about the chart shape, or the timing just doesn't quite play out. It's risky to be here, to be honest. But, well, you know what? I admire the fact that he risks everything. Even if it doesn't happen, he is more likely to be right than wrong. He's up there among the top analysts, in my opinion. So, I hope he's correct, but I respect him regardless, just like you. God forbid something like that should occur. This is an extremely unlikely scenario. Wouldn't it be great if Bitcoin reached a new record high? So quickly? After the previous epoch, you're probably only talking about a few years at most. In that case, things would be different. You start to wonder what it could signify for alternative cryptocurrencies. What can I say? It's like Christmas came early, because I didn't think Christmas would come for at least another year or two. And then there is also this, and there is one additional metric to be mindful of. Because look, when it comes to stable coins, altcoins and Bitcoin are the end result, but this statistic is worth considering. For the first time in almost a year and a half, the 90-day change in stable coin supplies has turned positive, according to a chart labeled Stable Coins, Aggregated Market Cap Percentage Change, created by on-chain analytics Manuel Clementi. It's the first time stable cryptocurrencies have seen net capital inflows since the bear market began. This is, therefore, something more to consider. But this is exactly the sort of thing you hope to see in a rising market. And thus, I pray it lasts. I can't say for certain. Not to put words in the blockchain backer's mouth, but to the best of my recollection, I believe he was talking about Bitcoin leading the way up to whether it was the mid $40, perhaps closer to $50,000. From what I can see, he seems to think there's at least a remote possibility. However, it appears that additional chart data needs to be shown before he can form a definitive conclusion about the most likely direction of events. Is it just going to keep dropping? And then, for the next 6 or 7 months, we'll be forced to range laterally. If reputable crypto investors are correct, however, the trend might go upwards. But in the meantime, we examine all these indicators, what is negative, and even if you just look at on-chain analytics, everything is good for Bitcoin, which dominates the market. Here is a reliable measure of the value of a coin. What I just put up on the screen is the same chart I had up there a second ago. He's just pointing out that he can see more detail in the new one. Easy to see. I mean, okay, find some people to cash it out, but, again, when you talk about stable coins, that they are utilized to purchase everything else, like that's essentially what I was saying. But what I'm trying to express is that it's heartening to observe this. And a long time has passed. We are currently in bullish mode. Does anyone seriously disagree with that? How few? Not many people. In any case, this article's professional analyst predicts that in just 3 days, XRP's price action will overtake Bitcoin's. In addition, I do not consider this to be absurd. I'm just going to give my opinion on the matter. And feel free to share your opinions with me. Maybe there's something I'm overlooking, tell me what you think. This, however, means that I may skip the piece. XRP, a participant in the UK crypto community, offers their thoughts. The following is what he said alongside the XRP Tether chart he posted, which is identical to the XRP USD chart, and I'll explain this first, since it's important. Here, you can see the XRP price, represented by the red and green candles. He is also comparing it to the Bitcoin USD price, which is superimposed on top. It's worth observing the similarities in behavior. And that's something I'd like to discuss, because I think it's instructive to contrast Bitcoin and XRP in terms of their respective price action. And yet, hear what he had to say. This was composed yesterday afternoon, T-4 days until XRP launch. Since it is now a day later, 3 days have passed, and he believes that XRP is rocketing up the charts and that it is helping to prop up Bitcoin's value. But it appears that XRP breakouts are beginning to closely resemble Bitcoin price changes. The initial major outbreak took 22 days to manifest. The time it took to complete the previous pump was 13 days. If we are successful in closing the gap, our projected breakout date will be around November 15th. In addition, XRP has had 4 hours to calm down. But could it still fall a little more before turning back up? Otherwise, what's the point? The market is heating up, but investors aren't feeling the love. Is there room for growth with this? What you consider to be a symptom may depend on what you consider to be a symptom. The general attitude toward cryptocurrencies is optimistic. The Crypto Fear and Greed Index, which measures market sentiment, is currently at 70. I am currently recording this. And now if you mean XRP in particular. I have no idea if such information is recorded separately somewhere. I didn't know that, but it sounds like a cool metric to keep track of. Still, the room seems to be the same temperature for most people in crypto, no matter how much or how little you possess. At least, that's the impression I get from social media. From what I've seen in the 6 years plus that I've been in the crypto space, the typical anxieties that XRP holders get are the same fears that holders of every coin get. But as far as the delays here, and look, let's set the table a little bit more. As I'm sure most of you are aware, the cryptocurrency industry is experiencing a surge in interest and new subscribers. Since this is your first time hearing about XRP, I want to make sure you understand a handful of fundamental concepts. Also crucial is the fact that XRP has consistently lagged the market throughout the largest crypto and cryptocurrency rises. So you can go back to, famously there were two major runs in 2017. One of these occurred roughly 6 months before I first dabbled in crypto, in early May, though it could have been April, but maybe it was April actually. Anyway, the point is XRP ran up from the beginning of the year around half a penny up to approximately 41 or 42 cents in April. When it did, however, it climbed swiftly. It's not like it went up every day for months. It went out of existence suddenly, months after Bitcoin had already passed it. After then, it continues to go sideways. Not much seemed to be happening. Sure, the price fluctuated a bit, but that's par for the course with cryptocurrencies in general. But it's been stuck in this tight range for the better part of a year, barely moving up or down. And then it went on another run in late 2017. This is the big one, when XRP exploded from 20 cents to over $4. That was the big one. Another instance of XRP falling behind schedule as evidenced by the edit on track indicator. That's just how people normally act. These are only 2 instances off the top of my head, but any major impetus, such as the most significant in XRP's history, can have a profound impact on people's daily life. All that XRP lags behind Bitcoin by a substantial amount, not a small amount, but a substantial amount, right? By months, at the very least. And if nothing changes, we can certainly anticipate that trend continuing. It's not that I think it would last forever, but the fact that he's talking about the possibility of these impulses shifting is what makes this discussion so intriguing. But first, there are a few things to note. These are hardly the largest, most awe-inspiring brows, which is what he seems to be referring to. I mean, absolutely, these were significant, these are relatively speaking to us big changes. Because, you're talking about XRP on July 13th, doubling in price just about in the course of like 4 hours. So quite large. It's significant that XRP's legal status was clarified. It wasn't like everyone suddenly realized it was altcoin season and XRP ripped their faces off while sprinting to a new all-time high. This was not an example of that. The same holds true for the final impulse he mentioned above, which he dates to November of this year. If you want an example of a positive price change that we experienced recently, you need go no farther than this month, when an XRP ran from 61 to 73 cents in only a few short days. Sure, that's something we'd be interested in. That was something worth reporting about. That captured the attention of quite a few people, that much is undeniable. But it's not the same as XRP going on a run to like $4. Apples and oranges, you may say. That's precisely how I feel about it. To be clear, I find what he's stating here to be completely insane, yet, my perspective is slightly different. And then, too, and bear in mind that this is crucial, is the fact that, he says the time lag between when XRP and Bitcoin both reach their respective goals is getting shorter, which would make you think that both can reach their goals in a matter of days if the gaps keep shrinking to that extent. Furthermore, I disagree, I don't mean any offense by saying so. To me, that doesn't make any sense at all. Because the analysis he uses has a gap of 22 days. It's not often that we can attribute a run in XRP's price to anything other than news events, but this is one of those times. XRP's legal status has recently been clarified, which is why you are there by examining the rise of Bitcoin. After that he saw, XRP went up 22 days later. That's fine, but it was a major story. Not at all. This is an unusual occurrence. When the price of XRP drops, it's usually due to foolish human speculation. Consequently, I am not convinced by the argument that those can be examined. Not only that, but it was a news event in general, so it's doubly significant. The one after that, however, occurred of its own accord, unprompted by any external events. That's awesome. I'm glad to see that XRP follows the general direction of the cryptocurrency markets, which is a downward trend as Bitcoin's price rises and XRP's price decreases. This, however, does not make any sense to me at all. That, it would stand to reason that we should anticipate closing gaps. And since we are not referring to XRP, I think it would be inappropriate to embark on a face-melting rally. I hope that this is the case, but we'll have to wait and see. And you just keep seeing XRP run closer and closer to Bitcoin. It just means we won't have to wait as long, but we've been in this situation before, so don't feel bad. That much has not escaped my notice. Since my first days in crypto, I've been aware of that, but I've never given it any thought. I don't care, because I already have a lot of other cryptos. I'm most fond of XRP. It's my single largest investment, but I'll be here to see it through. You can tell me what you think, because I have a somewhat different view on the matter, and it's very possible that I'm missing something you tell me. And I simply cannot accept this, but I don't think he'll make much of a difference in the end. XRP is gonna run like freaking wild. That's common knowledge, right? Let's face it. In a technical sense, we can't pinpoint where we might be off. I'm aware that it eventually becomes zero. Now, let's get serious. Prices in the market tend to rise and fall together. We're in bullish territory, by whatever measure you care to name. A touch of that is just what you need. Pick a metric, it's moving to the upside, everything's positive. XRP is going to follow. It's only a matter of how much, so we'll have to wait and see. But as an XRP, I am more optimistic than I have ever been before. Let me just say, holder. Okay, let's move on to the FTX token, also known as FTT, M24, our high $4.86. It is currently trading at a slight discount. $3.31. It's possible that rationality will prevail, but given that this is crypto and the FTX coin, it's highly unlikely. If you bought it and then lost the dang mine, you got what you paid for. No hard feelings if you happen to be one of the listeners who has actually engaged in some financial version of Russian roulette. Cool dude. So right now it's $3.30. But if you look at the 30-day, it's up 213% over the last 30 days, and it's down now. But earlier today, like I said, it was up over 250%. Why is that? In reality, FTX was a Ponzi scam that lasted only until the tokens were exhausted. Did it reach zero, or not? As of, say, December of last year, I stopped caring, maybe not literally. I read somewhere that the price dropped to the equivalent of 83 cents, so it came down to something like $1. Yes, I was checking it out. We're already on day 3, what have I gotten myself into? Let's check out the all-time leaderboard. It's zoomed out, so it won't show every price, but you can see that there's 94 cents, and here I was imagining it was only 3 cents, someplace. The all-time high was $83.82, so you could say that's a significant decline even if you didn't take it literally. Definitely not a positive thing to say. Why did it end then? You may be wondering why it has increased over the past 30 days from its initial price of slightly more than $1.05, given that it also includes the freedom, cost, pleasure components. Why not go through to from a what freedom costs and $1.05 up to $4.86 in the previous 24 hours? Okay, I'll explain. As the price of the FTT token increased by 90% in response to comments made by Gensler, we at CoinDesk would like to extend our gratitude to Kim Jong-ginza. In a Sue ripple effect, XRP falls. I appreciate it very much. The SEC is now led by Gensler, and his remarks have pumped Ponzi coins. Was this for real, people? There are genuine people investing real money into this. Holy crap. Okay, I think that has helped some people out. Maybe some of them sold the top because we'll see what happens here regardless. A 90% increase has been seen in the native token of the now-defunct cryptocurrency exchange FTX. After numerous attempts to revive FTS, U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission Chairman Gary Gensler said that participants in the cryptocurrency market must act in a manner consistent with applicable law. Yes, The reason this is happening is because FTX could potentially be brought back to life. I don't know about you, but I find the name FTX to be a little off-putting. Perhaps you could come up with a new name for the exchange, or at the very least modify the order of the letters. Idiots are going to be all TXF or XTF. Since FTX 8 worms work and go home each day, you could have at least rotated the darn letter. They go on to report that she responded to questions about whether Tom Farley, former president of the New York Stock Exchange, was interested in purchasing FTX by saying, "If Tom or anybody else wanted to be in this field, I would say do it within the law," paraphrasing. Okay. If it were to be relaunched and subjected to greater scrutiny, there is no reason to believe that it would not be administered by a new set of people who adhered to the letter of the law. So presumably, that would be the case, but only the branding, even if so. And maybe there's a decent business case for it, I don't know. They may decide to rebrand the company and continue operations, or there may be further benefits related to company assets or anything else that I am unaware of. But man, if this happens and they preserve that name, what me occasionally, the token connected with it, my god, you need rename the stupid token to, in my opinion. You guys tell me, this does seem nuts, right? And like humans are behaving utterly ridiculously, right? We might as well have liquidated all our XRP and bought the Ponzi coin instead. You would have been better off putting your money into the FTX Ponzi currency rather than Bitcoin or Ether if what you just read about Bitcoin being solid is accurate. The question kept popping into my head, how is this real life if this has happened so many times in crypto? And I don't know how absurd something is until I'm all for it. I'm only in this for the dude. Crazy. I am not a certified financial planner. Nothing I say should influence your buying or selling decisions. Please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.